Hey everyone, I'm Shannon Smith,
I'm Julia Neal.
and we're with the Above and Beyond movement, and happy Friday! Today, we are so excited to have one of our very best friends, former coworker, future forever friend, Amanda Autry with the Season of Becoming. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the Season of Becoming, because you have so much going on right now.
Yes, I've got my hands in a lot of pots right now. So as I sit here today, I am a mindset coach, founder of Empowered Retreats, and most recently, I am co-author of #1 best-selling book, Women Who Rise. And through my mindset coaching, retreats, and writing, I help women and men find clarity and discernment so they can create a life that is a reflection of what they truly desire.
That's amazing. I want to I know the book just launched right after we're filming this, so I really want to talk more about the book. Can you dive into your piece and what you wrote about and where people can find it?
Absolutely. So one piece of this that I think is really important to mention is how the book came to be, in the sense of how I got involved in this, because I've been wanting to write for a really long time. I've been writing since I was little, but I've never been published, and it's always been a dream of mine. And I had a really sweet friend make a gift for me that was engraved #1 best-selling author with the title of my future book. And in that moment, I decided, I'm doing this. This is happening. I will become a published author this year, period. And within a month's time, I was tagged in somebody's Facebook status because the Inspired Impact book series was looking for their final author for their book, Women Who Rise. So I connected with Kate Butler, who is the publisher, told her about my story, and from there, everything happened so quickly. And the reason that I share that is because I find so much value and importance in deciding and seeing how quickly things move after you make a decision and commit that something's going to happen. So my story is about my life over the past 5 years. From where I was 5 years ago, there was a huge turning point, a catalyst, and I don't want to give too much away because I really want you guys to read the book. But there was a huge turning point in my life where everything changed for me. And after that happened, I went on this journey of self-discovery and this journey to happiness. And what I found was liberating and unexpected. And I share a lot of that in the story through our trip across country in an RV and how we ended up here in Austin, Texas, where we are now. So it's jam-packed with a lot into that one chapter, but you can purchase the book, Women Who Rise, on Amazon, available today.
Amazing. Oh, there's one thing that I also want to pull out from that. So as you were talking, you talked about making a decision, but you also talked about putting that concept and that goal out into the universe. And I know that's something that you talk about a lot. So can you share a little bit more about that with all the listeners?
Yeah, of course. So we live in a world with truly endless possibilities. And the way that I view it, a lot of times we have the doors closed and everything's on the other side of that door, but we don't allow it into our realm of possibility, so it can't get through. And that moment that we put it out there, that moment that we decide, the door flings open, and the opportunities, sometimes quickly and in shocking ways that we couldn't plan or predict on our best day, show up for us once we make it known that we're available for it.
I love that. I mean, I think it's so true. When you finally make that decision, opportunity just comes around you. So I want to talk a little bit about Empowered Retreats, because I got the opportunity to join you and be a person at your very first one. What was that? It was last year, right?
Last August.
Sedona, and it was absolutely amazing. So tell us a little bit about that journey and maybe that decision and how it led you on that path.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. And I do want to say you were way more than just a person. You were also the DJ. You were also my helper the entire time. Shannon, you played such a huge role in making that a success. So I don't want to go without saying.
All I did was make really good moon water, okay, for 5 days. It's fine.
But it is really important to have people around you that are supportive of your dream, because truly none of this would be a reality for me if people like you weren't in my life. So I'm so grateful for that. So I decided that I wanted to have a retreat when we were on our cross-country adventure, because I had seen some really beautiful places that truly expanded my capacity for what I believe is possible. When you go to places like Sedona or White Sands, New Mexico, everything that you thought was true and real gets blown out of the water, because you're like, wow, how can I be in a place that is so beautiful and so surreal? So it did a lot for my mental state. And I realized that not everybody can hop in an RV and travel across the country. So I wanted to find a way to bring this mind-blowing, belief-shattering experience to people in a really attainable way through a retreat. So I made the decision, okay, a retreat's happening. And I went on Airbnb and I just typed in places with available for 12 or more people. And there was a lot available. And I look through the pictures and I'm like, okay, this place is cute. This place is great. And then I see the ashram, the Family of Light ashram. And to be quite honest with you, the pictures weren't that great. You guys are in real estate, so you understand the value in having a crisp, clean idea of what this place is going to look like. But I didn't at all. I'm looking at the pictures and I'm like, well, fingers crossed, but I had a feeling. I knew that this was the place. It was something in me that's inexplainable. I actually have chills while I'm talking about it right now. And I think having this conversation is so important, because a lot of times we make decisions from a place of logic and sound, which is valuable, truly. And there's an element to the physical, intuitive draw towards something, which is what I had for this place. Shannon, I bet you even remember, as we pulled up to it, I was like, I have no idea what this place is going to look like. This is the day before the retreat. And I'm like, I really don't know. And we walk in and it was the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my entire life. So when I found it on Airbnb and I had that pool, I took out my credit card and I made a non-refundable deposit for the place. And again, decided this is happening. And I decided it in a way that was new to me. I wasn't necessarily clinging to an end result that I could see clearly. My thought was, no matter what, I'm going to make this experience amazing. If nobody signs up, I'm going to take all my friends and family on a really great vacation. And keeping myself high vibe in that space of, no matter what happens, I made this decision, I'm going to follow through with it, and I'm going to make the absolute best out of it. And we sold out of our first retreat, and I have since sold out of 2 retreats that unfortunately are on pause because we're in the middle of a pandemic. But that one, blind decision that I made from my heart, that I made from a place of just knowing that this is what I was supposed to be doing, has led me to this incredible new outlet for me to share and help people grow.
Well, I will say we are all, I would consider us all spiritual. I mean, we're such good friends, so correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the first things we saw when we were running through the house, looking at how beautiful it was the message that was outside in the sand. Do you want to share that with everyone? Because I think it was such like a theme in your life.
I'm like getting a little teary-eyed just thinking, because mine, written in stone, was, "We will rise." Wow. How beautiful. It's like we get these little messages along our journey And it might not always make sense in the moment. I mean, I knew when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's incredible. But then months later, I'm a published author in a book, Women Who Rise. Coincidence? I think not. I think it was just another inspired decision that, led me to that place of confirmation. You're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
It's important to listen to and acknowledge when you receive those signs, because that is the proof. When you're looking to make decisions logically, we do that because we have proof, right? But we can find proof in intuitive decisions. We can find proof in listening to our heart and how it's worked out for us in the past. We just have to reframe and be intentional about looking for that.
I love it. Love it. I feel like you've shared so much about just intentionality and making decisions. Is there anything else that you just like felt inspired to share with everyone today?
Yeah, I think something that I could have used a little more of when I first decided to start my business, going back to in real estate, was similarly to what I've been talking about this whole time, listening to my heart and knowing that there's always another way to do things. I think I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to run my business in a way that worked really well for other people, which, why reinvent the wheel, right? But there is something inside of you that lets you know when you're out of alignment. And it's kind of tricky because you have to know in your body when you are pushing through because it's hard and new, and when you're pushing into a place that's no longer in alignment with what you truly want. And it's something that you can probably identify within yourself. I know that when it's up here in my chest and in my head, it is an inspired decision that's tough and I have to push through. When it's in my stomach and my stomach is telling me this isn't right for you, I listen to that now. Whereas before, that discomfort was kind of all encompassing and I didn't really know what to do at that point. But now I have a lot of discernment when I notice that I'm going into should land. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, you should be doing that. When I look back and track my results, like I was talking about before, there's not a lot of proof that when I do the shoulds, I get the result that I want. Mm-hmm. But when I take the inspired action, when I do the things that seem kind of out there and crazy, I end up in a place that is so much more beautiful and amazing than I could have planned out in my wildest dreams. So listen to your heart, take into account what others have been through, and allow yourself to view it through the lens of what you desire.
Yay! Oh my goodness. Well, like Julia said, there is so much in that. And I cannot wait to read your piece. I'm so excited. So for everybody who's tuned in today and in the future, can you tell them where they can find you? Because it's so many places.
So number one, our book, Women Who Rise, is on Amazon. My website is theseasonofbecoming.com, and my social media, you can find me on Instagram at theseasonofbecoming, which is by far my favorite way to connect. That way we can have a conversation, meet each other, and have a true connection, which is what that platform is used for. So the Season of Becoming.
What about the retreats?
That is also on my website. And I have an Instagram for Empowered Retreats, which if you go to the Season of Becoming,
there will be a place
right in there. I make it super easy for you to find out how to join us on one of our excursions.
Because I love them, and I want to make sure that everybody can go to them as well. There's just so much power and so much value in your retreats, as well as in everything you do. So, Amanda, I loved this time with you. This was so, so amazing. Everybody, don't worry. We're going to put all of her information down in the comments. It's going to be really easy for you to get to her. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I love what you are doing. Keep it up. You guys are a force to be reckoned with in the empowering world.
Oh, love it.
Thank you for joining us.
All right, guys. See ya.